Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Tuesday, the 7th of February, comes to you from London, although I'm on my way to Dusseldorf and Essen for the eWorld conference for the next couple of days. So if you're in eWorld, hopefully I'll see you there. Probably the biggest energy conference in Europe. We start with currencies. Then we'll look at stock markets, commodities, and last of all, some tech stocks. Interestingly, the dollar this morning recovering quite strongly. We're back above the 100 level on the dollar index. That's not that significant, although we are just seeing the first upside target here to 101.50, so that's 1.3% upside. And it's interesting that the long-term charts still look pretty bullish. Finding support on the cloud here, so at the moment it will be interesting to see if we can unwind some of these downside targets. The dollar looks strong in the medium and long term, but still has a bearishness about it in the short term, although the cloud has just turned bullish for the dollar. And conversely, the euro has turned bearish. We've got our first downside target, 106, and interestingly, we're just now testing this support level, so it'll be interesting to see if we break that and then negate some of these downside targets. And of course, the euro looking incredibly bearish. This will give us a new downside thrust as well. So we are just seeing bearishness, finding resistance on the cloud here, below the chart on all, below the cloud on all three time frames, short, medium, and long term. So the euro is looking bearish again. Japanese yen not showing much, dollar not showing much strength here. Yen strength continuing. It's inverted. Remember, this is dollar weakness, yen strength when we're falling. So it's not showing up in the chart here so much. Sterling was nudging some lows yesterday, the 124.30 level at one point. At the moment, we're just really in that sort of area, but we are below the cloud again, and have struggled really to get above the cloud on the lagging line here as well. So for the moment, sterling still does look bearish in the medium to long term, and with the euro, sterling has been increasing, but again, it's below the cloud, so it's still looking weaker than the euro. And the Swiss franc, again, we've got a downside target of 2.7% on the sterling, and that is activated. If we make new lows, then parity against the Swiss franc, which would make Switzerland incredibly expensive. If we look at the Australian dollar, 162.47 this morning, we really are pushing, and we've got a downside target of 155. This is really about Australian dollar strength at the moment. Looking at stock markets, the S&P 500 yesterday, not much change on the day. 22.92 is the level. We need to just go a little bit higher to activate this new 23.71 target. But interestingly, we still are bullish on all three time frames. And the main same thing happens with the Nasdaq. Nasdaq was up stronger yesterday, and we see here making new highs. New highs are good. Remember, new upside target 2.2% in the short term, and still 20% upside for most U.S. markets. S&P, so the Dow Jones back above the 20,000 level yesterday, and that is looking pretty bullish too. The Russell 2000 index, not as strong a performance at the moment. We're just in this sideways range. We need to break higher to start running again, but it's bullish on all three time frames there too. The future this morning, just very unchanged on the S&P 500 index future, so no signs of what the US market's going to do. The FTSE 100 above the cloud, so we're back above the cloud there, 1.7% upside. The FTSE 250 looking stronger still, with great upside potential here, with targets. And then the DAX is falling. That is not looking as good. So usually recently the DAX has looked better than the FTSE. The FTSE now looks better than the DAX. Looking at Japan, not much change overnight. Below the cloud here, stronger yen having a little bit of an impact. So Asian markets not so good. The Shanghai index is just above the cloud. Still got work to do on the weekly to get through. China has been a bit of a worrying market, but the Hang Seng is looking pretty good and coming through on the daily cloud here. So looking pretty good there. And if we look at the Australian index, it's just a bit lower as well. The Australian dollar probably having a little bit of an impact there. And the Sensex index looking strong on all fronts. This is India looking really good. Looking at Brent, we're just nudging this $56 level, $57 yesterday, but we're back below the cloud, so we're seeing a bit of a sell-off in Brent. The upside target's still in place. WTI again below the cloud, so just seeing a bit of a sell-off in crude, coming back to support. It'll be interesting to see how long-lived this is. US nat gas, very slight recovery, but to be honest, it's below the cloud. It's looking pretty bearish at the moment. We do have a new upside target of 312, but we're really just hanging around this $3 level. If we go straight to precious metals, gold had a good day yesterday, really starting to power now. 1259 is the new upside target, starting to come through on the daily cloud, which would put us back into bullishness on all three time frames. We've activated this upside target, 13% upside. So gold is looking pretty good, even though it just medium term needs to get through that cloud. Silver, much the same. We've got 20% upside on the target on silver here, so that's looking good as well. Copper, just bearish, still below the cloud here, but the long and medium term is still pretty bullish. In terms of tech, Apple just nudging those new highs. It has activated this new upside target of 150, so that's a 15% upside for Apple shares. That will have a big impact on the market. We're looking at Google, still below the cloud on Google. Amazon also a bit of a sell-off there. Come back to support. Be interesting to see whether they stay there. And then Facebook's shares still bullish on all three time frames, and we've got some great upside targets here in the medium term. Microsoft just coming back into a bit of a bearish territory there, though we might activate this upside target. And Nvidia reporting this week, my best performing stock last year, but reporting this week, it will be interesting to see. Up strongly again yesterday, a couple of percent, and 121, 3% upside target activated. So it'll be interesting to see how they trade ahead of their results on Thursday evening. That's it for today. Until tomorrow from Germany, happy charting. See you then.